What's going on, y'all? Y'all see the title and thumbnail, man. Let's get right into it, man. You know, we got a lot to talk about this video too, y'all. I seen y'all comments. I was responding to a lot of y'all. You know, I like the band with y'all, man. You know, it's the community, y'all. Y'all the community. It's the fam, y'all. That's why I'm saying. That's a good intro right now. I ain't gonna lie, because the music making it sound better. But you know what I'm saying. Or I just like, you know what I'm saying, the band with you guys, man. It's just basketball at the end of the day, y'all. It's not gonna, nobody gonna die over this. And we not the ones playing. That's the craziest part. We the most emotional about it. It's the passion though, man. It's the passion for the game, man. I'm telling you. I understand. Believe me, I understand, y'all. I understand when y'all feel some type of way in the comments. I feel some type of way too.
The pantheon of NBA greats, without question, the
conversation
needs to start with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Coming up right behind Air Jordan is the king, LeBron James. While LeBron had the benefit of starting in the NBA right out of high school, Jordan had 3 years in college under the watchful eye of none other than Dean Smith. If we start with how they moved on the court, it becomes a difficult comparison right out of the gate. While Michael seemed to defy gravity, LeBron simply ignored it. MJ seemed to bounce with an agility that few others had, as if his athletic explosion was too much to keep him earthbound.
We need those.
His an explosion with his first step was unparalleled, as no one could handle his jab step game. The subtle fakes one way, the burst of speed in another. LeBron's athletic ability was one of raw power, propelling his much bigger and stronger frame across time and space, as if he was a black hole capable of swallowing you up and destroying your very soul. While LeBron had straight-line locomotive speed and strength to go over and through you, Michael could corner and spin and dip and clutch to either go around you or simply wait in the air until you descended before putting the ball in softly off the glass.
That's a fact.
A quick comparison of their career achievements shows remarkable similarities. Rookie of the Year? Check. All-NBA First Team? Check. PER? Check. All-Star Games? Check. MVPs? Check. Where Michael separates himself is with Defensive First Team, steals, league scoring leader, and most importantly, titles. While LeBron gets the nod in rebounds and assists.
Hold on, we got to stop right here. You know, I told y'all how I feel about the title situation. You know, I'm not gonna go on a big rant today about it. So, but y'all already know. I believe, you know what I'm saying, it shouldn't mean as much as it means in the general population. Everybody thinks championships is the thing that puts your individual greatness above and beyond. I don't think it should be like that, man, because that's team success, man. That's team success. The Finals MVP should put your joint above and beyond. MVP, things like that, bruh. Things like that. Defensive Player of the Year, scoring leaders, scoring titles, things like that, bro. Accolades, man. I ain't gonna lie. Accolades, stats, odd tests, dominance. You know, and that's why MJ the GOAT. Not because he has 6 championships, not because he went 6-0. Because his dominance, how he dominated his old era. You know.
And has recently passed Michael in all-time scoring.
Come on, you don't need to even add the championships to come on, man.
How they scored. Michael
let's get back to the video, my fault, y'all. That was really about last video.
Because scoring was always much more of his role than setting players up. LeBron's scoring average is close, but he plays with the share the ball mentality. While Jordan ran the point for a short time and filled up the stat sheet with triple-doubles, LeBron has always been more of a pass-first scorer, which makes his scoring even more impressive. When looking at how Michael scored, it's a study in footwork. He used the hop a lot to bounce into his shot off the dribble and possessed a very mature post-up game almost from the start of his career. While he didn't stretch the floor to the three-point line, mainly because no one shot them in volume back then, he owned the mid-range game up to 22 feet. For the first half of his career, he'd take turns attacking the defense out of motion sets, where he could use his speed to propel himself around screens and attack off the catch. Of course, he'd isolate out top, where his teammates would stand around watching spellbound, as each make was more difficult than the last. When LeBron first came into the league out of high school, he scored much in the same way that Jordan did early on in his career. He has always been high volume on isolations, as his overwhelming physical gifts allowed him to do whatever he liked on the court. And his game has matured over the years, displaying more and more skill. His scoring average has been remarkably consistent every year of his career, as he carried his early Cavaliers teams to the playoffs each year with a less than stellar cast of players around him. Michael Jordan had similar issues learning how to make his teammates better while also maintaining his aggressiveness scoring the ball. But it was always more natural for LeBron to give the ball up to a teammate and make the right play, even if it meant he'd get criticized for not taking over in the clutch. As Jordan progressed throughout his career, he got better and better at balancing his ability to be aggressive and still set teammates up, but he never got the kind of assist numbers that LeBron was getting from his second season forward. While Jordan had a good post game almost from the start, he adjusted his game as he got older and utilized it more and more to merge his athletic gifts and his firm grounding in the fundamentals of footwork, using the deadly fadeaway that no one could stop. LeBron has flirted with posting up throughout his career, but he's never made it a priority across a whole season. And as he moves into the twilight of his career, this hasn't changed. What LeBron has done at this stage of his career is become so good at skip passing that he can force the defense into scramble mode without even needing to penetrate. And the velocity and accuracy he puts on passes that travel up to 40 feet is astounding, keying his teams to so many open shots. Michael played in an era where hand checking was allowed, and the defense could be much more physical with him all over the court. In turn, LeBron has had to deal with the defensive 3-second rule, which allows teams to load up more easily to stop him from scoring, but again, it plays right into his hands as he's such a willing passer. Defensively, Michael Jordan had the rare distinction of being both the best scorer and defender for a lot of his career. He was lockdown, and together with Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, terrorized teams on their way to 3 straight titles before Dennis Rodman joined them, and they went on to 3 more. There were moments when Jordan would guard big men too, but for the most part, he was tasked with handling a guard. He could be simply overwhelming with his tenacity and brought it as hard as he could on both ends of the court. As a result, he earned first-team All-Defense for 9 years and won a Defensive Player of the Year award, something almost unheard of for a guard. He also made a name for himself as a great shot blocker, appearing out of nowhere from the weak side to terrorize low-post players trying to get their shots off.
I was talking about that in the game highlights, man.
He was a player who could and would guard all 5 positions. He was strong enough to bang down low with bigs and quick enough to handle point guards. He anchored a defense in Miami that was termed the Flying Death Machine because of how much ground he could cover along with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. The ball pressure he could place on the offense made even professional ball handlers wilt. Of course, his last 3 years have seen a decrease in effort on the defensive end in the name of conserving energy for the most important part of the season, which leaves us to split hairs over who was better based on their seminal moments in the playoffs, where their iconic images are seared into our brain during the highest pressure under the brightest spotlight. It all started in Cleveland with the Bulls in a series-deciding Game 5 in the first round, when Jordan hit what we call the shot. This propelled the Bulls to a deep playoff run and eventual dynasty throughout the 90s. In 2006, LeBron faced a fun Wizards team in the first round and ended Game 5 with a baseline drive in overtime that gave the Cavs control over the series, in which they eventually won.
Tough. I never even seen that,
When the Bulls finally got to the finals in 1991, Michael Jordan put on a show in Game 2, scoring 13 consecutive field goals, capped off by this spectacular move that shook old Chicago Stadium to its foundation. In 2007, LeBron led his completely undermanned team on a march to the finals, And in the crucial Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Detroit, after 2 overtimes, he isolated out top, blew by Chauncey Billups, and just lays the ball in for the win, and the Pistons knew they were done. During the 1992 NBA Finals, with Jordan going against another premier guard in Clyde Drexler, he set a then record with 6 3-pointers made in a half, ending the game early. And it was after his last 3-pointer that he looked over at Magic Johnson on the sideline and gave him a shrug, doing the one thing we thought was impossible. Michael Jordan impressing even himself. In 2011, while battling severe cramps, LeBron James summoned the strength to isolate out top and pull up for a 3 that gave the Heat control of the game and then the series, propelling him to his first title. In 1993, on their way to the first of 2 three-peats, Michael broke the city of Cleveland's heart once again with the Shot 2, when he ended the Cavaliers season in the second round with a jumper eerily similar to the first one. In 2013, the upstart Indiana Pacers gave the Heat all they could handle in a brutal 7-game series, and it was in Game 1 where things looked bleak. Down 1, only 2 seconds left, but LeBron saved the day and the series with his eyes in the back of his head spin move for the lefty layup game winner. Without this win, who knows if the Heat get to the finals for their second title. In 1997, while battling the Utah Jazz, Michael Jordan was suffering from the flu, yet willed himself to score 38 points in the key Game 5, which enabled the Bulls to take control of the series. But who could forget this iconic image of Scottie Pippen having to help him to the bench before he collapsed? In the 2013 finals, LeBron had 2 memorable moments where he ended Tiago Splitter's basketball life, never to return, with this insane block of the dunk attempt. And it was plays like these that kept the Heat alive until the 7th game, where an exhausted LeBron came around a screen to find daylight on a 20-footer that propelled the team to its second title of the Heat's Big 3 era. And that brings us to the 1998 Finals, when Michael Jordan fittingly ripped out Utah's heart and ate it right in front of them, as he not only stole the ball from fellow Hall of Famer Karl Malone on an incredibly smart and heads-up play, but then, without a timeout, brought the ball down to the other side of the court, patiently waited for the clock to tick down, then sank the most iconic shot of his career, capping off a second three-peat and cementing MJ's legacy in the pantheon of the all-time greats forever. In 2016, after falling down 3-1 and on the brink of elimination to the Warriors, LeBron James turned in an all-time 3-game performance, leading the team in every major statistical category, destroying everyone in his path as he led the Cavs to the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history. So in the end, this story is still slightly unfinished. We haven't seen how LeBron's career will play out alongside Anthony Davis and whether he'll add any more of those iconic moments in the playoffs. But we do have enough evidence to make an informed opinion over whose career was better. There are the numbers, there are the plays, and there are the men themselves. Each of them rose to lead their respective generations to some of the greatest achievements the NBA has ever seen. While I'll leave it up to you to decide in the comments who's the greatest, I'm prepared to make it clear who I choose, even if it's by the slightest of hairs. If you like this video...
Yeah, y'all. That's the end of this one, man. Jordan had way better moments, man. Bron was right, like Bron's right there. He's right under him. But Jordan had the moments of all time. You know, those are like the most iconic moments ever, bro. Like in sports history, damn near, bro. It's just different. It's just different. It's just like Jordan was like yeah, man. He was the first one to do it, like to make those iconic moments like that, like the Jordan sneakers. Like it's just too much. It's too much. Jordan is the GOAT, man. Jordan is the GOAT. Bron has some work to do, man. Some work to do still for me, man. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Tell me what you want me to react to next. Make sure you click on the last reaction. how good MJ was as a wizard. Figuring that out. I'm out of here, man.